Hello and welcome to the Life is Storytelling podcast. I'm your host, Chris Pierce. This is June 19th of 2025, our first video episode. I'm your host, Chris Pierce, again with my buddy here, my co-host, my compadre, my tag team partner. I don't remember his name. Gaping Slaw, it says right there on his Zoom profile. Or you might know him better as Ernest Gonzalez. Ernest, how you doing, bud?
That's how most people know me, but
The
there are
Gaping
pockets
Slaw.
of the world that know me as Gaping Slaw. So
Fair, fair.
I'm damn good. I'm damn good. Happy Juneteenth, everybody.
Happy Juneteenth, everyone.
Mm.
Yeah, dude. Oh, but you work today? Yeah.
Yeah, I did. It was quite the busy day,
Yes,
but
it was.
like a productive one. So like
That's
it
good.
feels good, you
That's
know?
good.
Yeah.
And here we are trying something new on the
Yeah.
podcast.
And it's always cool to try something new, man. I remember our first movie review when we were
Yeah,
just games, you know. I remember just like
the one
the first
microphone passing it
time.
back and forth. Yeah.
Yes, dude. Yes, yes. We've evolved so much, and this is yet another evolution.
It
So
is. It is. And
I'm
it's the
with it.
next
I'm with
logical
it.
step for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely been putting it off. But honestly, our cameras are pretty good. Our cameras are pretty good. Obviously,
Yeah,
there's
not
better out
bad.
there, but hey,
Not bad.
man. Hey,
I
man.
stole this from work.
There
Hell
you
yeah.
go. We're not going to say where we work. All right. I don't work for A24. Now, I do not work for A24. Call me though.
Yeah.
But we are
Sponsor
here.
us.
Please sponsor us. Talk games. Talking some gaming stuff. Ernest has recently beat a Metroidvania that is near and dear to my heart. That was really high on last year. From a franchise he was already high on. And then I'm going to be going into a lot of Nintendo stuff today. With my review of Mario Kart World, my impressions of the Switch 2 2 weeks out, and we're going to talk about that Donkey Kong Direct a bit, as that will kind of be like our first real look into the future of what the Switch 2 has to hold for us. And then we're closing out the show with something we beat recently, Elden Ring Nightreign. We're going to be reviewing that. We did, of course, play that together with somebody. I don't remember his name. At Chris Hot Tog over
Nobody
on Twitter.
important.
um, but if for some reason, because it's gonna sound so weird if the audio is talking about like we're on YouTube now and say something happens and you don't see the video and something, I don't know, because this is gonna be my first time ripping it to put on there. Just know I tried. just know I did my
Yeah.
best, man. Um, but Ernest, we're gonna nerd out today. We're gonna talk some games. We're gonna hang out, and we're gonna see each other while we do it, man. It's gonna be pretty
Yeah,
cool.
man. Yeah, you look damn good, sir.
Oh, thanks, man. It'd feel better if you looked
Yeah.
me in the fucking eye.
I mean, but I am because
No,
you're
I know your camera's in a
you're
different
right
spot than mine.
there.
You're
Yeah.
good. You're good. You're
Yeah.
completely fine. You're completely fine. I'm just messing with you. But let's get into it, man. You already have a TikTok up on this, your review for Prince of Persia: Lost Crown. But give me your thoughts again. Give me your score, and let's get into it.
Yeah, go follow us on TikTok, motherfuckers.
Do it.
But so Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I put this one off for some time. It was one of the games that I had on. So each year we do an award show, and one of the awards that I like to do is game that I most want to go on sale. And this
It's like
one
the most
was
backhanded
at
thing,
the
but it's
top of the
great.
list. I can't remember if it won, but I remember
I
it
want
was
to say
on the
it lost
list.
out to Resident Evil 4, if I remember
Okay,
correctly.
and I still haven't played that. So
Right.
yeah, there we are with that. But this was one that I was very much looking forward to, but there was just so much else going on, so many other games to play that I was planning on putting it off. And I finally got around to it. It was on my PlayStation subscription. I
Okay.
have the extra, pay for a little bit extra, get to play some extra games, baby. And
There you
this was
go.
one of them. And I'm so happy that I finally put the time aside.
Oh
I
yeah.
had a really good time with this game. The combats and the platforming, which
Mm,
is usually
so
what
good.
makes up a Metroidvania, right?
Mhm.
It it is so polished. It works so well. It feels so smooth. And even though a lot of the combos that you're doing is like input wise very simple,
Mhm.
it makes you feel like such a badass pulling off those
Yeah.
moves,
I mean, the
sliding
timing still
under.
matters. Yeah.
Yeah, sliding under an enemy and just attacking them from behind and tossing them up in the air and juggling them and slamming them to the ground and tossing them back up again. Oh, dude, it's awesome. And then when you get one of those like special parries and it goes into like a cutscene and
So
stuff,
good.
you
Yeah.
feel like Xena out here, bro. Just a
The warrior
warrior
princess.
princess,
Oh
homie.
man. I didn't
Absolutely,
see it coming.
absolutely. So yeah, man, I had a really, really good time with it. And yeah, progressing through that story though, the story is there. They introduce some pretty like, compelling characters. And I really feel like the strongest is the main character, which is important,
Of course.
right?
Yeah.
Like the person that you're gonna spend the most time with is the person that you want to be the strongest character and get to know and things like this. But there's some fairly good like character development throughout
Yeah.
it. The problem that I had with it, and it's really only the only problem, is that there are some characters that just disappear. You're a part
Yeah.
of the immortals, which if you ever know like Persian mythology or history, or I'm not sure where that falls, but it is known that they were a bunch of badasses, right? Just like ultimate warriors and stuff. And they look so cool. Like there's the big muscly one, there's like the agile one, all these different, the archer and stuff.
Right.
And while you do get to interact with some of them throughout the game, I think there's one that you never see again, like the one in the spiky armor and stuff that just
Mm.
never comes back.
I don't remember that.
Um, and I thought that would have been like a series of boss fights, things like this, and it ended up just not being that much. One of them is the main villain, spoilers, but
I was gonna
it
say you fight a
is,
few of them because you fight the big guy who uses
yeah.
like an anchor as a
And
weapon.
you fight the archer, which is
Right.
was probably the most challenging
He's
for
like one of
me.
the
The
first
archer
ones.
just
Goddamn.
whooped my butt, dude.
Well, that
That
makes
guy
sense
whooped
because
my
that's when you
butt.
start to learn. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So I did have a good time with it, but there was some that just disappeared, never to be seen
Right.
again. And I wish I would have had some closure with more of those characters. There's also a part where you run into like copies of yourself
Yeah.
from like a different timeline or something like that. And that only popped up like once or twice, and we didn't get much explanation there. So
I will
it's
say they're
because of
hidden
those
without the
small
levels.
points. And I found like three of them, two of
Yeah.
them, something like
I
that.
was
And
gonna
I
say I
thought it
didn't
was
find very
really
many of them
cool.
either, but yeah, yeah.
I thought it was going to lead somewhere. And yeah, no, they're just kind of there as an extra
Yeah. Pretty much.
challenge.
Yeah.
But challenge wise, phenomenal game. Like
Mm.
there is a lot of difficulty to be had here. And when you overcome those like areas that just feel like they're impossible to get through, it feels so good. It's like, beating Elden Ring boss or something like this. So yeah, yeah, I had a really good time with it. The combat is definitely what stands out. As well as the platforming, of course. So like the main Metroidvania stuff.
Right.
So
What the game
that's
has
what
you
landed
doing.
me.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. Like the main gameplay is just phenomenal. I cannot believe that this studio got shut down doing work
Yeah.
like this. Fuck you, Ubisoft. But
Ubisoft. Ubi.
yeah, so that's what landed me on the 8 out of 10, just those small story
That's fair.
points. Like, why am I beating the villain as a child? It's a whole thing.
That's every
It's
shonen out there. You get out of here. What's wrong with you? You go Super
so
Saiyan at one point. It's fine.
yeah, I'm very happy that I finally got around to it. If you're one of the people that are out there that have been putting this off like me, now's the time, baby. It's out there, it's ready to play, and it's a good time. So,
Absolutely, and I can second that because I did beat it last year. I will not say I didn't play it at launch, but it was a few months. It was like 2 months after I want to say that I ended up getting it because I didn't even get it on sale. I was just really I had nothing to play. I was just like I don't know what to
mm.
do, and I've been curious about it. And I mean, like we're not the first people to like say that game is great, and so I just hopped on it. So
And also the taking pictures of like spots that you want to come back to
yeah,
is
it's great.
such a great touch, and it really needs to be in like every
Yeah,
Metroidvania from now on. I feel
yeah,
it is
it's very
so
helpful.
good, so good, because man, we all know how a Metroidvania map goes.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. So I mean, navigating back and trying to remember exactly where that chest was that you're that you're looking for, it's really nice to just have that marked and have a picture of it on top of
Right.
that. So yeah, yeah, I hope to see that in future games.
I will say, yeah, since then, I don't because I don't know if Prince of Persia is the first one. It's the first one I can think of. There are others that do it. So I definitely think, yeah, we should be getting that. Like that's a modern touch because it's definitely not everywhere. We absolutely get more of it because I mean, Metroidvania is not the most inviting of genres. Not saying it has to be. Not saying put in an easy mode. Granted, I think I'm pretty sure this is a game that has an easy mode for the record. But just like, hey, it's a nice little touch. But yeah, I second that. I'm pretty sure I gave it an 8 out of 10 last year. The story is a little lacking, but I mean, it is enough to make you like, where are we going? Oh my God,
Yeah.
the prince just got killed. What's happening? I don't know.
Yeah, because I was along for the ride, you
Right.
know. It's just when we got to the end, it was like,
You
wait,
realize,
there were a couple of things
yeah,
back
yeah,
there
yeah,
that I
yeah.
want to
It's
know
it's a
about.
good ride, and you
Yeah,
realize like I don't know if I'd wait in that line again.
yeah,
But again, gameplay, everything else. Hold on, my little pup is just staring at me, little brat.
the baby.
It's a really good game. That again, I second what you just said. It's so fun. If you enjoy Metroidvanias, fantastic. If you're like worried about Metroidvanias, because I know a lot of people can be turned off if you hop in on Hollow Knight and you haven't done Metroidvania before. It's a tough one. That is the Dark Souls of Metroidvanias. I would recommend Prince of Persia again because it has an easier difficulty option. It even has, I believe, some options to help you with like the platforming puzzles if you decide to take that route. Just very
Oh,
inviting.
like a
Yeah, I think
skip
that was
for
it.
areas.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, because
It
I
just
think they like recommended it to me as I was failing
That's right, because
at
it'll do
some of
the
the
thing of
stuff.
like, oh, you're fucking up a lot. Not gonna. That's
Yeah,
right.
you're
Yeah, I
doing
did it for
really
me too.
bad, but you can
You
turn
don't
on
have to
this
stay
option if
here.
you want to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And I'm
right.
like,
I
fuck
forgot
you,
about
I'm gonna do this. Yeah.
that. But it's so good. It's absolutely so good. I'm glad you finally got a chance to get on there and get through it. Because welcome to the party. It's great. And of course, our thoughts go out to everyone who is part of that team. I don't believe everyone was like fired. I do believe some people were just absorbed into other Ubisoft projects. But yeah, that team completely disbanded and they made something really special. It just sucks that hey, it it was really good
It's
and it wasn't enough because of the
it's
Ubisoft
like an
withdrawal.
unfortunate reality of modern gaming that even if you put out a good game,
Yeah,
like you might not get to stick around, you know?
right.
So
I didn't
yeah.
fucking Gollum, man. I thought it was gonna do so well. Uh,
Shut up.
but now we'll move on to a game. I guess you could say I beat it. I've done a lot of things in it. I hit the end credits, which is just literally unlocking every level. I did spend a good bit of time because I told myself I played one day in the open world of Mario Kart World is what we're referring to here. And the open world, I will go ahead and just say it is like the lacking part. It is nowhere near as robust as you probably want it to be. Granted, there is an in-between spot because like that's the big complaint I've heard about Mario Kart World before I even got to really get into it was the open world, that it's not a whole lot there. And I will say when you hear that, there is more for you to do than you think, but at the same time there's not enough for you to just be like, "Oh, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to go play some open world and not do the races in Mario Kart
Like there's
World."
nothing to like really like grind out there.
A little
It's
bit.
it's just like
So
little
the
activities.
one thing you can grind out, so there's a mode. It's not new. Mario Karts have like their hidden quote unquote hidden mode of like you have to do something special to unlock what's called mirror mode. Essentially, every track is mirrored, where when you normally turn your right, you turn left instead. Things are written backwards, stuff
I
like that.
see
It's
how
a fun
that's
little thing.
challenging.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a nice little change. It's nothing too drastic, but that so to unlock that you have to do all the races and you have to complete all the Grand Prix, which is unlocking all the courses, of course.
Mhm.
And then you have to do do every level of Knockout Tour, which is the best. And I'll get into that more in a minute. It is the best thing that has been added to Mario Kart, and it is a must. Like when we play Mario Kart, if Justin just to put us on a Grand Prix, I'm gonna be like, "Mom, bro, we need to try this Knockout Tour," and I'll get into that in just a moment.
And that's
Uh,
new to the franchise?
New, yes, yeah, and I'll
Okay.
explain what it is in a moment because it's just you couldn't have done it with the other ones. And then the other thing is you have to do there's three open world activities. There's the P switches, these little blue switches that if you hit them, it'll unlock something like it could be a set of blue coins that you have to drive through and get all the coins, or do like a little challenge collect. It's like a little collectathon. You
Like
complete it.
the like when you hit them in the Mario game and it puts like a bridge of
Right.
coins that you
Right,
go
right, right.
collect. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right. It's just built around the world of you having a cart and like you might have to grind on a rail to do this or do that. There's also these things. I think they're just called I call them tiles. I don't remember what they're referred to, but they're just little question marks. They look like the little cube, but they're a flat panel. You just run over them and literally it makes a switch sound and you unlock a sticker, and that's that activity. And then the other one is this golden peach medallions that you find around, and you have to do 10 of each of these open world activities plus the other things I mentioned with the races, the knockout tour, and the Grand Prix to unlock mirror mode. And I did that. I literally unlocked it yesterday because I was like, if I'm going to talk about this, I'm going to unlock everything. So it was pretty all right. It was pretty okay. I don't know if I'm going to hop back into the open world. I don't see the, like, even the people that are enjoying free roam with your friends, which I can do with Justin. I can. But, like, I would rather just race. I'd just rather race, man. Um, but the Grand Prix are like it's fun. I think it's a lot of fun. Justin says there's a lot of like reused tracks and like yeah, you bring in your classics and whatnot. I should have said this at the top. I'm not the biggest Mario Kart guy, so this game was going to be struggling to even hit a 9 for me. um, but that being said, I do really enjoy it. I have had a really good time with it. Once I actually sat down and tried doing like the open world stuff, I found myself like, oh, I don't feel this is tedious. This is like fun. I'm having fun. But then, of course, when I unlocked it, I'm like, I don't see a reason to go back to that. So that is that.
So I have a question.
Go for it.
So anytime that we're sitting around, me, you, and Justin, and we're watching a showcase, and say like Forza comes up, something
Ah,
like this, one of those like really well-known, very
yeah.
good racing games,
Mhm.
we just get a lot of eye rolls. We get a lot of sighs. We're like, oh shit, here's another racing game. Like,
Right.
oh, everybody asked for this, right? And so what sets Mario Kart apart? Is it the arcadiness of it,
100%.
or just like it being Mario in the first place, or what
Both of
is it?
those are facts. So like it's the arcadiness. There is a Nintendo whimsy that they're just really good at, and what they bring with the score, like it is an ungodly amount of music that they put in this thing. I'm not gonna claim to like be like, oh, I recognize, oh, this is from Mario World 3 and stuff like that,
Hmm.
but I've heard other people calling out like the like somebody was trying to do because they're stingy with their music and or anything they put out. Somebody was trying to upload the soundtrack track by track from Mario Kart, and by like he made it a few like obviously it's been 2 weeks. He's like, oh, I saw the rest of it, and guys, I just don't. I have to go to school. Like I can't do this anymore.
I have
Uh,
to live life, man.
yeah. Because literally, there's hidden tracks when you just unlock a character, and you'll find the track playing when you go to them on the character select screen. When you unlock a new vehicle, um, same thing. You will not hear the same tracks like all the time, just going through like the same race. Like it swaps them out, and it's really like it's pretty awesome. And the ones that like I am able to recognize, it's just it's a really cool feeling, and that mixed with like how animated these characters have gotten. I think a lot of us remember. When Mario Kart 8 came out on the Wii U, and we all saw like that side-eyeing Luigi, like people driving by him, he's just like, "What the fuck is this?"
Oh yeah, that's a whole meme.
Call
Yeah,
me,
because I
call
don't play
me.
Mario Kart, and I
Right.
know that one. Yeah,
Exactly. I was
yeah.
gonna say that went everywhere, and that's the reason why I bought the game. So like, they've taken that, they know how popular that is, and they've amplified it. If DK runs on you, he does a little, he, he
He
just fucking
dabs on
he
you.
dabs on you,
Yeah,
and I was just like,
yeah, I saw that.
no, the insult, dude. Oh, it's great. It's awesome. The AI is very smart, and this is why you should be like, this is a threat. Because dude, they be taking shortcuts. You're like, oh, I didn't think of that shit. And they use items to the best of their ability. I imagine because there's different CCs, like how many people are in the race. I always did the highest level, just to have the full 24 people in there. And I
Because I
imagine
mean, they added all of them for a reason, right? Like,
right, and
let's make it epic. Yeah, yeah.
exactly, and like you know me, we did this when we talked about Baldur's Gate. The more
The
chaos, the
chaos.
better.
Yep,
Absolutely, chaos
yep.
reigns. Chaos reigns. And dude, it is insane. Even when it just completely ruins me, I see the finish line. I'm number one. One, two, three, four, five shells hit me. Six people pass me, and I'm like, oh no, this is terrible. But you can't help but laugh after you're very mad. But I gotta give a shout out. I don't have the name of the track, but there's a Donkey Kong course. That's at the end of like the first Grand Prix. That has like like it's a robot Donkey Kong. And the way it works, you're traveling through the level. There's a point where you see the robot Donkey Kong, and he's running up this what looks like a set of ladders. And then you start putting things together in your head, and you realize the course you're racing on is just a remake of the original Donkey Kong game, and he's throwing barrels down at you, and it's so freaking cool. I was just like, this is awesome, man. And you keep getting closer and closer to him, and that like is honestly one of your earlier ones. Blew me away. I was like, oh, dude, okay, I'm here. I'm here. This is awesome. This is, and that's exactly also what I'm referring to by that Nintendo whimsy, because they put in the detail, man. They do put in the work.
Mhm.
Because there's also this one called Boo Cinema. It's a haunted movie theater that's filled with the boos, and it's really cool. And there's this point where you go through this portal where like you're driving through like old kind of like grainy footage that's like where you have to like flash like the lights flashing on it and you're moving the reel. And like it's
Yes.
you hear the shudder as it's
Yes, I
going,
do know.
and it's so cool. And then the last thing, my favorite, because it's something everyone shouts out. Rainbow Road's like the goat. Like everyone loves their
Yeah.
Rainbow Roads.
Everybody
Um,
knows about like when it came up in the Mario movie, for instance. Like if
right,
it wasn't going to be in there, it was gonna be like, what the hell? How do they not have a Rainbow Road
100%,
scene, right? But
100%.
like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But this Rainbow Road is my favorite because it is literally just a celebration of Mario and Mario Kart. Because it literally starts off, you're not in Rainbow Road, you have to drive to it. You're at the end of the last track in the Grand Prix, and you
Oh,
hit
because it's like continuous.
right,
Right,
right. You
right.
drive up to this rail that shoots you up into space, and then you end up on Rainbow Road. This
Hmm.
is really where you see the graphic fidelity of the improved system. And there's points where you travel from one part of the road to another, and like there's a space station. Like you'll see little toad astronauts out in space, and as you just get further and further along, like you'll see this little rainbow train traveling around, and like you'll see a lot of like the background characters in there, like that Donkey Kong I was referring to, like that robot Donkey Kong. He's in there just waving at you, and it just reminded me of that feeling I got from Astrobot last year. Of when you take
Right.
that like celebration feeling for the brand, obviously that one being PlayStation, this one being Nintendo. There's just there's a magic to it, and I was just like, wow, this is great, this is awesome. Um, and that leads me to Knockout Tour. It is so freaking cool. What Knockout Tour is? It's 4 grand. No, it might be six. It's six. So each like obviously there's different races. There's different map. We'll call them maps, whatever. Tracks.
Mhm.
Sorry, that's literally what they are. What Knockout Tour is those tracks all strung together, and you start
Oh,
out with your full roster of obviously you do the highest level. You got 24. Um, and like you go through, and as there's like these little checkpoints as you go from one track to the other. And the first one, there's a cutoff of after 20, no one's allowed in, so it eliminates 4 people. And then the next one's like the next cutoff might be like 14. You don't and it just keeps going until at the very end it's the final four, and you're racing for that number one. Yes, it's
but
a longer race.
it's not a set number though.
It is a set
It's
number.
like, oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm pretty sure they're all
You
the
said
same
like
number.
14. I was like, God, that's like the whole field, baby. Like
Right. No,
that's
yeah,
crazy.
I'm just jumping from one thing to the other. I want to say it
Yeah, I got you.
eliminates four each time, but
Okay.
I'm not going to do the math right now. But yeah, but you do end up with the final four. And of course, at that point, you're racing for number one. And it is really fun. It is longer races, of course, because you're just traveling through all of these together. And dude, it's so cool. It's such a good time. I hopped online last night with some folks. I got number two. I got second place, and I'm happy about that shit because people were fighting for their lives, including me. Because at one point,
Because
I
we
was
can
number
only
12.
assume that they die when they get knocked
Oh,
out, right?
100%.
Like terrible deaths.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
Miyamoto over at Nintendo has a death note, and he just writes your gamer tag in there, and you die.
There you go.
There you
There you
go.
go. Yeah.
But dude,
Makes
it's
sense.
so fun. Mario Kart 9, really fun. Mario Kart World, I'll say. I give this a solid 8 out of 10. I do think this is a great Mario Kart. Everything it does have to offer has like not every part has blown me away, but I don't find very much of it underwhelming. There are definitely elements of it that I'm like, this is more Mario Kart, but that's not a bad thing. It really isn't. And then there's there's knockout mode, which I don't touch. No, sorry, there's knockout tour. There's one where you shoot like balloons of people and like it's literally an elimination thing. I was like, I don't want that.
And
But
then so I have another
go for
question.
it. Go for it.
So you gave it an 8 out of 10. Is
Yeah.
each one of those points worth $10 to you?
To make it an $80 game. This is
Yeah,
not. I don't think
yeah.
this is not an $80 game. Um, This is an Xbox. I'm sorry. That's their campaign. But no, I do not think this game is necessarily worth the $80. And though this is kind of like this is the weird thing about Nintendo being the first ones to draw that line in the sand. We had a game recently announce their price, which everyone thought was going to be 80, and it's going to be 70, and that is
Right.
Borderlands 4.
Right.
And from everything I'm hearing about that game, it's great, whatnot. And
It's a good game.
taking that away, not even going into it because we haven't touched it, we don't know.
Mhm.
Um, I would understand that being considered $80 before something like Mario Kart. Now that I've touched it. Obviously before you touch these things, you only know so much. But
Right. Right.
yeah, because they really push that the open world is the reason why. They went for that price point, and I understand making games is not easy, and there is a lot of detail here. And what you do get to do in the open world is fun. I do not think it is bad. I wouldn't even go as far to say as like it's shallow or feels too empty, but it does feel very light.
Mm.
Yes, you can drive from one course to the other. Once I realized you can just fast travel to each track, I was like, I'm not doing that. No, why would I do that?
Oh,
Uh, it's
and because
literally
I mean, but isn't there stuff going on between the tracks?
there
Like,
are. So, what would happen would be because I was focusing doing like the collectathon so I could unlock mirror mode. I would go around the track, like try to not do the normal race, just so I can look around in like nooks and crannies to find the hidden things. And then what I would do is I'd leave it. And I'd drive around for a little bit, and I'd usually find like a peach medallion out there on the road or something. And then after a while, when I don't find anything, yeah, I fast travel to another track, do the same thing. Also get in the costumes, of course. But just it's just not a lot. One thing, and it's something that somebody brought up on another podcast I was listening to that was just like such a good idea. And now that I've heard the soundtrack for this game and know like it's like has untapped potential that I've barely tapped into, like if they had gone the route of giving you like a Grand Theft Auto radio station to like listen to the tunes, because when you're in the open world, it's pretty quiet until you get to the actual tracks. That would have made a huge difference. Again, celebrate your stuff, Nintendo. Let's pop that out
like
there.
a Goomba radio or something.
Right?
Yeah.
Give it a little name.
Yeah.
Give it a little name. Bowser
Yeah.
Bops,
Yeah.
man. Bowser Bops. I don't know. Uh, Bowser Jr.'s Jamboree. I have no idea.
This is
But
why Chris is in charge of naming things around here.
I did not name
Yeah.
him on the Zoom call. Uh, but that is to say, it is a really great game. I really want to go through Knockout Tour with y'all. Because dude,
Mm.
it's gonna be infuriating. It's gonna be
I'm
very.
probably gonna win, so
Hey
just
man.
a heads up.
Hey man. They
Yeah.
don't have that
Never
shitty.
played the game.
Yeah.
I played 8 like once, but
You played it more than
I'm
once. I
probably
was gonna say
I'm
Justin
probably
had
gonna
us play
beat
that
y'all
so
close.
many times, but yeah.
Yeah, we played it with Jason. We murdered
Yeah,
that kid,
I
man.
heard. I
Yeah. Then we put
heard.
on Smash and we whooped him again. So yeah.
But moving on from Mario Kart, because again, great game. If I would again not recommend getting it unless it's part of your bundle. Because again, I don't think it's worth the $80. But I do think it would like the $60 price tag, maybe even the 70. Like I think that's fair. It's just like the $80, and for us to now it's going to be in history. The first standard $80 game is Mario
Yeah.
Kart World. That's forever.
Nothing extra with it.
Nope.
That's what you're paying
Nope.
for the base game.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, if they give out some pretty cool DLCs, like free DLCs, like some new tracks, I don't think they're going to give it to you for free. But if they did, I think that would do a lot of good. But there is a lot of room for
Nintendo doesn't
DLC.
do much for free.
Not really.
So
Not really.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
just learned so because we're going to be talking about the Switch 2 and the Donkey Kong Bonanza Direct. There's a new amiibo that was announced during that direct that strongly considered. I was like, I'm going to get this. And then it's been so long since I got amiibo. I had the full wave one, which is a whole thing. And they were like 14.99. And here we are. I was like, let's get in here, and it is not 14.99. This is 29.99. I was like, oh no, that's like
Yeah.
it's like a
And
decent
it is
meal.
the Donkey Kong amiibo,
Yep, Donkey Kong
right? Yeah.
with um, it's not
Homegirl.
Rosalina, Pauline. Her name is Pauline.
Pauline. Yeah.
Pauline. It's not Hot Rock.
Pauline.
Yep. Um,
Pauline is 13.
Pauline is 13. They did announce that. Uh,
That shit rhymes.
it
Yeah.
does. Maybe that's
It's
how they decided it.
it's very thoughtful of them to announce that just to the public because I'm sure
But
everybody's
people
weird
be
about
weird.
game characters.
People be
Right.
weird.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. But before we get into the Donkey Kong, just to say my Switch 2 stuff, because this isn't, I'm not going to get too deep into. Switch 2, 2 weeks in, I think it's a great console. I think this is absolutely worth the price upgrade. Does it need to be bought day one? Not necessarily. Um, but I love, and this is going to sound so lame, the Joy-Cons are so good. The Joy-Cons are so good. First of all, they're bigger.
Hmm.
Um, but
That's
not only
huge
that,
already.
yeah, it is. But they stick on with magnets, and dude, you don't even like they just suck on there, and that
The click,
sound
it
it
feels
rocks
good.
me to sleep at night. Yeah, it's
Does
so good.
it sound like the noise that they put in their like presentations, like as they're going from one thing to another, like
I'd have
the
to hear it again because it's definitely
okay,
not it's not the old Switch noise anymore
okay.
because that noise was the Switch going into the dock.
Oh, and it would make that noise. See, I don't even remember that.
It's okay.
I only ever had a Switch Lite
I know
because I'm a ghetto.
you
I'm a
never had to
ghetto
dock
bitch.
it. Yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
ghetto ass bitch, and I only
yeah.
ever had a Switch Lite, so I don't know. It didn't even have the
Joy-Cons
you
didn't
know,
come off. Yeah,
the Joy Cons to even take off.
right,
It's just one solid unit.
right.
So I mean, yeah, I didn't get to experience that part.
But so here's the thing. Though there may not have been a lot for, like, say somebody who's been with the Nintendo Switch, lived through that journey and whatnot, hopping in on the Switch 2 day one. Yeah, you have Mario Kart World, but it's not the most like it's not a narrative single player game, you know?
Right.
Which is where, like, I know a lot of people are shouting out like Donkey Kong should have been out here, and I'm like, maybe it wasn't ready. It's coming out a whole month later. You don't know what's
Right.
going on.
Like maybe that was the intent, but
Right.
Nintendo doesn't do like big delays like that for the
Right.
most part that
And
I've
also,
ever
you want to
seen.
pepper that stuff out,
Right.
and their Mario Kart bundle with the Switch One with Mario Kart, like that sold like gangbusters every Black Friday. So I can see where their logic was, and obviously, it's selling quite well. Anyone you hear saying it's not doing well, they're really forcing hate. Um,
Just
but
finding something.
100%, 100%, just pulling like fake images out and just saying all this crap. Um, but say you. Ernest, you specifically, somebody who missed out a good bit on the Switch 1 generation. Like
Right.
if you were to say you got Switch 2 right now, you and
Mhm.
this might honestly just be intimidating. You have so much just greatness there. Because you have
Yeah, I
not played
mean,
Breath of the Wild. You have not played Tears of the Kingdom, and they have
yeah, I
been
started
enhanced.
Breath of the Wild
Yeah.
and I
No,
didn't
trust
keep
me.
going because I couldn't do it handheld.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Completely fair.
But
And I guarantee you, if you just started that, there's so much more. That's like a 60-hour
and
game.
I just imagine on my TV it would be so much more epic, you
And that's
know?
the thing
Like
with the Switch 2, even the thing because there are Switch 2 versions of a lot of games. And both Zelda games, they are that. They do have Switch 2 versions.
right,
But
right.
even a lot of Switch 1 games, we're finding when you pop it in there, it just runs better.
Mm.
And like a lot of people are saying that with Scarlet and Violet are happening, and we know there's a lot of issues there. And I'm just
So it
saying
was like a power issue.
so for
Like,
Scarlet and Violet, not 100%, but part of it, because
okay.
it's still a pretty empty open world. Anyway, we're not here to dunk on that again. My game probably wouldn't have crashed before I got a Pokemon, so that would have been neat. But yeah,
Your
that's
game
fine.
crashed before you got a
Before I got my
Pokemon.
starter, yeah,
That's rough,
day one,
buddy.
yep, yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep. But there's so much for you. There's so much to enjoy, and like everything that you like, even if you don't get the Switch 2 version, it's gonna run better. It's
Mm.
automatically better because it's gonna have the power to back it up, and like that's awesome. That's really
Do you
cool.
think it would make me like Animal Crossing?
No, because you don't like what Animal Crossing is, and it's because it's a video game. You hate those. No,
No, they're the worst.
well,
They're the worst.
no, I don't think
Poison
it would
for the
fix that.
mind.
But I mean, hey, maybe you'd get good at Smash. But moving right
Bitch.
on,
Oh, hell nah.
the future
Yes.
of the Switch 2. We still don't have a release date for Metroid Prime Beyond. Like, what the hell? Like, everyone's talking about it's here so soon.
Right.
Where is it? I don't know. We have a release date for Pokemon ZA coming out in, I believe it's December. Like, where are we putting Metroid? But
And
July.
I mean, it's always kind of like this at the beginning of like a console's life, right?
True. It's a
Like
little different though for Metroid Prime 4 because it was technically announced like 7 years ago.
yeah, yeah, I see how that's a problem.
So
For
getting that
sure, for
release date
sure.
is pretty important, I'm just gonna say. But
But I
aside
know
from that,
like a big part of any like beginning of a console life is being able to like that backwards compatibility and being
yeah,
able to play the last games on this new system and
absolutely.
see a little bit of improvement and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So in that way it kind of makes sense, but I'm just thinking like beginning of the PS4, like beginning of I don't know, Xbox 360, stuff like
Mm.
that. There were at least a few options to go with at release, you know.
Yeah, and I
And
will
it
say like it's a
what
little
else is
weaker.
out there that's a Switch 2 game right now?
Like just a
Or is
Switch
it
2
just
exclusive.
one? Yeah.
There's one other, Ernest.
Is it the that other one that
You're
you
gonna
gave a
guess
try?
it. No, 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 no. You're not gonna guess it. So it's
Oh.
that tour. It's the Welcome Tour.
Oh, fuck that. That's not a game. That's not a game. Get out of here.
That $10, baby. That ten
Nah, man.
dollars.
That should be
No,
free.
it
100%.
should
Yeah.
100%. Um, and I want to say maybe that I don't even know if it's out. I haven't done the research. That game that was like designed for the mouse controls with the dudes in the wheelchair playing basketball.
Oh,
Uh,
yes. Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes. That's
but
out?
I don't know.
Okay.
I was never gonna buy it
Just
because
haven't looked into
I
it.
don't.
Yeah, yeah.
I am not. I haven't
Mm.
even tried mouse controls now that we said that, because I planned on trying it for Metroid because I've heard it's really good as like a point and click because it is an FPS.
Mhm.
But also like from what I've heard about the mouse controls, you gotta have something flat on it, and I'm like, bro, I'm not at a desk. I'm not at a desk right now. I'm sitting on my
Yeah.
chair. What are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah. So like what do you
It
yeah,
makes
what do you do
sense.
with that?
It makes sense. Oh yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, we'll see. We'll see when how much will they support it. We'll find out.
Yeah, the
Um,
difference between console and PC gamers, right? Like I'm not I'm not playing at a desk, bro. I'm sitting in front of my TV.
right,
Like
right,
if I'm gonna sit down on the couch or something and play a game, where am I gonna put that?
right.
But I guess you
But
figure shit out, man. Throw down a mouse pad, do your
100%,
best.
100%. And
Yeah.
like I said, we'll see. But the future of the Switch 2 is looking pretty bright. We have a new Pokemon game on the horizon, and even before that, we got to see a lot of Donkey Kong Bonanza here at the Donkey Kong Direct. I'm curious, as somebody who's definitely like on the outside looking in. Obviously, you do not have a Switch 2 at the moment. This is the next Switch 2 exclusive game. What did this do for you? What they showed us? 17
Oh,
minute
which
Direct.
DK.
DK.
Um, it looks like a very good time. It looks like there's so much to do here. You can really see what I'm gonna consider inspiration from like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and what
Absolutely.
I know about the mechanics
Yeah.
that you just have so much freedom of choice going throughout this, which in a lot of games is like a straight up illusion, like
True.
they paint the picture of choice, but like here you have so many ways to attack an objective, and which I know is true for especially Tears of the Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, just having that freedom in any game, but being able to implement it into the Donkey Kong world that they did here is just really impressive to me.
Yeah.
um that and also having like a companion on your shoulder, the
Yep.
the things that they're doing with multiplayer here really gives me hope for the Switch 2 in multiplayer just as a whole,
Mm.
which like if you would have asked me before, by far Nintendo had the worst
Oh, for sure.
multiplayer,
Yeah.
like if we're considering consoles and stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, I really appreciate a lot of things that they're doing here, and it's something that I want to get on and mess with. Being able to just like it doesn't sound like they recommend it too much because it's not going to get you much, but like you can just punch your way all the way through a mountain.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That is insane.
Just
Yeah.
like even thinking about developing that, like I can't develop animal well,
Yeah.
like
Right, right, right,
I
right,
can't do like the most simple game out there. Animal will is fucking amazing though.
right. Right.
But yeah, being like the program and like the things that went into that just have to be so much to
Yeah.
fathom.
And
Like
things are like
it's
hidden
insane.
in there and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, there's just chest like that's the thing, like they're walking around with like this giant bowl. You can take these kinds of rocks and throw it into a mountain and it'll explode it. And if there's a chest there, and it's like, how do you know that chest is there? Like that's crazy. I know they have a couple of things to track like those big banana treasures or
Right. Like the
whatever,
sonar
but
and
like
whatnot. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what they're doing with like a skill tree. I wasn't expecting a skill tree in
Right,
this game for
right,
some
right. You're gonna
reason.
RPG Donkey
And
Kong out, bro. Shit.
yeah, man. Yeah. So there's a lot going on with it. I also love that my first note on here is The Rock is a young singer named Pauline. And it
If
reads
you're
like
some man,
the final boss is like a
right,
young
right, right.
singer named Pauline.
He's a
And
mass
I kind of feel
singer.
like it's true, even though it's not.
Hey, man, you could be. We haven't beaten it. We don't know. We don't
Yeah,
know how this is gonna
true,
play
true.
out.
That could just be Dwayne Johnson
That
on
could
Donkey
be.
Kong's
Could be.
shoulders right there. So yeah, man, yeah, it looks super impressive.
Yeah.
Like again, like they this company just continues to innovate in its game design, and it's very much shown here, and I can see this one too inspiring future games.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, impressive stuff for sure.
So I'm right there with you. I'll go even a little bit further and glaze Nintendo a bit. First of all, this game is not $80. This is a $70 game. I should have brought this up instead of Borderlands to just keep it in house. Because I can already tell you from what they showed there, yes, there's a lot more going on in that open world than Mario Kart World. As I mean, as there should be for the type of game it is, but still, there's more that can be done in the world of Mario Kart World. Um, but this looks incredible. I really like.
You
I
look
was looking.
incredible.
Thank you. So I was looking forward to Donkey Kong. Like I already had it pre-ordered. I'm definitely getting it day one. I'm very excited. It's the second Switch 2 game. It's a single player game, and we haven't had a 3D Donkey Kong game, and I feel like it's been about a decade, if not even more than that. Because the last ones we got were a side scroller, and then they remastered that side
Right.
scroller and brought it to another current gen system. Um, and I'm so glad Seth didn't ruin it for us with the movie. I mean, I love Seth; he's great. But this really went a long way to just make me like, this is a need. I need this game. I really wish it was out right now because like I really just want to play this game, and that's saying something considering I'm about to forget about it here in like 6 days. Because Death Stranding 2 will be here. um,
And
yeah,
one thing that I appreciate too is like it does seem as more of a narrative adventure than maybe
100%.
we've got from the franchise before.
A fully voice
And
acted companion can go a long way.
but it doesn't seem like just the story, you know, like there is a like challenge modes and all these different
Yeah,
types
there's
of
always
things
something to
that
do.
you can
Yeah,
get into that are going to keep you coming back to this game. And I think that's important. Replayability is just so huge when it comes
100%.
to video games, period.
100%.
And I feel like they're doing a good job of just padding what they already have with this story and narrative. The straight line that they painted, there's so many ways that it branches off,
Yeah.
and it looks awesome. Yeah,
And I love because literally the moments of like Pauline being like DK, and she
yeah,
just
yeah.
wants she wants so the whole premise is Pauline if you make your way to the center of this planet, the world, I guess it's Earth, a
Mhm.
wish is granted for you, and Pauline wants to make her way back to the surface where she's from. Completely valid. And Donkey Kong, I'm fairly certain I read this correctly that he just would do anything for a banana, and this is what's
He
happening.
just wants bananas.
Yep.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah.
simple guy. And if this is not the same story as The Last of Us One, I don't know what is. Because it's just a man
Joel
living his
loved
life.
bananas. Yeah.
No, no, no. Yes, it was
What?
100% bananas. I was gonna fill
Damn.
it in with something else, but I couldn't. But dude, it looks great. And whenever we get
What
the
she said.
whole golf club scene with Donkey Kong, it's gonna be a lot for Pauline and and Bonanza Part Two. But when
Do
you
you want Pauline in Mario Kart?
she already is.
Really?
Yeah, she exists already. This isn't
Damn.
her first game. So Mario Kart,
Oh,
sorry, Mario Odyssey. And this is what everyone's thinking, that this is going to end up playing a part as like a prequel to Mario Odyssey, which is the last 3D Mario game we got. Because there's a part in Mario Odyssey where you end up in a town called New Donk City. It's you find Donkey Kong there. He's befriended the mayor of New Donk City, who what is its name? Her name? Her name is Pauline. I know you're thinking Donk is ass, and I get it.
yeah.
I get
She
it.
got a dunk. She got a dunk.
We're talking about adult
Yeah.
Pauline right now, but yeah, no, yeah. Or I mean, honestly, there's some transformations here with DK where he's got the donk,
Oh,
but yeah,
and she's and she's an adult in that
in
game.
Mario Odyssey, she's the mayor of
That's
New Donk City.
Okay, okay. So that's why it would be a prequel. That's cool. Because I was going to ask, wouldn't you want a Odyssey 2 as opposed to
So that's
having
what
like a
everyone wants
remade
because
one or
everyone's usually
something?
going to
Right.
pick Mario before Donkey Kong. But here we are, and I think this is exciting. It hasn't been
Mhm.
announced yet because Nintendo's really cagey about letting you know who's developing their games until they're out. But everyone, the assumption is this is being made by the Mario Odyssey team because you do see a lot of shared DNA there as well, but also with like Zelda and whatnot. But obviously nothing 100% confirmed, and it could very well not be. Nintendo doesn't care about timelines. It doesn't matter. But a lot of people are like, at the end of this game, Donkey Kong's gonna help Pauline get to the surface. They're gonna befriend like her family, having returned them and everything, and they're gonna name a city after Donkey Kong called New Donk City, and that's gonna be the thing. But we'll see. But regardless, the parts of Pauline you get in this game and her singing and like her awkwardness and bonding with Donkey Kong and trying to find her voice and everything, I do think there's going to be a stronger narrative here than you would expect in a lot of Nintendo games.
Yeah.
And honestly, because I was just like, what am I feeling right now? There's a part where Pauline's falling into the mouth of a monster, and they just do the whole like really dramatic hands reaching for each other
Like
thing, and then it
like
cuts.
they're wait, what side am I on for you?
For me, you're on my left side.
I'm on your left side. Okay.
Are we trying to do
Left side.
this?
I was yeah. Yeah, like they're like reaching for
But
each
lower
other.
your hand.
Like,
Lower your
oh,
hand. There
oh
you
no.
go. There you go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
so good.
For sure.
But it's like DK. And you're just like, ooh. And then it cuts. And at that moment, I was like, I'm a little emotional right now. Oh man. Oh man, I didn't expect that coming into this.
I
Uh,
I'm willing to bet money that you cry during this
I
game
hope
for sure.
so, dude, because
Yeah,
you know, like that'd be huge.
I hope so.
That'd be
I
huge.
will. I want you to cry so bad,
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate
like
that.
in the best way possible, man. Like that good cry,
Yeah, man.
the end of Final Fantasy.
That cleansing donk cry, as they say. Uh, but dude, with everything here, the transformations and whatnot, I love. Sometimes I love the anime community because a lot of people are pointing out like the similarities between like Super Saiyan 4 and like that one form of DK where he has like the
The
bananas.
ostrich.
Nope, wrong one. It's just him, but like a bigger monkey. Other
No,
people are
yeah,
comparing
yeah.
it to the Gear 4 Luffy, and it's just like, oh man, we're going Gear 4 and DK. Dude, I love it. I love it. This is the cooler version. Like, obviously, we've had things
Oh,
about like, oh, they're
Kong
ripping this
Bonanza.
off. Yeah,
Yeah, Kong Bonanza is what it's called.
the
That
forms.
mode.
Yeah. Where
Yeah.
he gets the power of the elders. But it's so cool. I think the transformations are awesome. I do think the destructible environments are going to be a huge thing. It seems like there's no shortage of things to do, along with a narrative that looks pretty good. And no joke, like when they started playing the DK rap during this thing, I was like, what the
Yeah, yeah.
fuck is going on, dude? DK, Donkey Kong. I was like, wow. And then they switched to a few other tracks. You gotta have that da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na. You gotta have it. But I think we're gonna have another great game with just an awesome smorgasbord of soundtrack variety. Because
Oh,
Nintendo's
good
great with their
word.
orchestral shit.
Say it again.
Mufasa.
No. Smorgasbord.
Mufasa. Smorgasbord. Um,
Smorgasbord. It doesn't work the same. That's tough. That's tough.
that was.
Oh man.
But yeah,
But
this looks great. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm even willing to say, not to be too hyperbolic, I do not think this is going to be the goat, the goaty. Like I don't personally think this will top Expedition 33 for me, but I am I'm willing to go as far at least that I think this is going to have a strong chance at getting nominated for Game of the Year.
yeah, that's fair. I mean, like I would say this is about the same genre as Astrobot, very different, of
Oh, fair.
course, but
Yeah.
like
But yeah,
it's
still
that
3D
kind of
platformer.
game.
Yeah.
Right, right. So, um yeah, yeah, I could see it. I could definitely see it. And just again because of like if not because of like narrative or anything like this, like just the innovation behind it is so
100%.
huge. Like,
100%.
yeah,
And
yeah,
just
definitely get it.
get them to play some of that DK rap during the presentation of the Game Awards next year.
Yeah, and
Um,
hopefully somebody says Bananergy at
Oh,
some point.
dude, I need some Banandium. Like,
Dude,
they went really
stupid.
hard with that stuff.
Yeah, so hard.
But that
So
is to
hard.
say, we have a decent lineup of games for the Switch 2. Obviously, we're not going to really know the success of this console until some time has passed, because that's really how you know. Because I would definitely say PS5 specifically, in terms of like, because PlayStation prides itself on exclusives, I do think this is a lower console generation than the PS4. Um, but at the same time, PS4 didn't try to do cross-gen with PS3. Uh,
Right.
and they didn't have a pandemic to compete with, which is what led to that. Um, but at the same time, like, I don't know, like, this is very biased, but I'm like, I haven't had my Bloodborne, you know? Like, I haven't, like, some of the best games we're talking about, Elden Ring Nightreign is everywhere. Expedition 33, it's pretty much everywhere.
Right.
Stuff like that. The launch, like, the two games I got for launch at my PS5 were Demon Souls, which is fantastic. That remake is so good. And then Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is everywhere. So, I don't know. But again, give it some
That
time.
was a good game, right?
Valhalla, I never beat it. It's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Of course it's huge. But it
There's
was
a
fun.
no, it is fun. There's a point
Like
where I
you
really
enjoyed the
thought,
main character and stuff.
yeah, well, yeah, you build it's your character.
Oh,
But
okay. Yeah, yeah.
so like there's a point where I really thought I was getting close to the end, and after I looked up some stuff because I couldn't figure out what to do on a certain mission, like I saw like, oh, you're
You
almost
saw like the
almost
mission list or
halfway, yeah,
whatever.
and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god,
That's happened to me before. That
yeah,
has definitely happened to me before. Like, there's this much game
yeah.
left. Like, you're fucking kidding
This
me.
is it's
And
it's
it
a bit
ends
of a
up being
momentum
like,
killer.
yeah, maybe sometimes it's like an extra like 4 hours more than I was
Assassin's Creed don't be like
like, thinking
that.
of. But like, yeah, with Assassin's Creed, it was probably a lot more
And
because
like
those
that
games
being
are just
said, and just because the
huge.
first video, we might as well have our tangents. I do want to play Assassin's Creed Shadows. Um, it's just
Same.
that's like the top of like if I were to do your award, I would like it to.
Yeah,
I have
when
a
it
wish
goes on
listed.
sale,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
yeah, it's
Because
absolutely
I've been waiting for an Assassin's Creed in
Japan.
Japan forever. It just
Everyone has.
makes sense,
It
man.
does.
It just makes sense that you do that.
It does.
But yeah, no, I don't think I'm gonna
Do
get out
you
there pay
think?
full price or anything.
Do you think? Had we not had Ghost yet, because it's not like it's not the same thing as Assassin's Creed, but you do see the similarities there.
Right,
If we
right.
hadn't had Ghosts yet, do you think you would have been a little more eager to jump on the newest? Because you wouldn't have
Absolutely.
had that experience to compare it to. Yeah,
100%.
that's fair.
Yeah, yeah. But like
Maybe same for me.
because one of the reasons why I love Ghost so much is that I love samurais
Yep,
and I've always wanted that immersive samurai experience.
that's fair.
And had Ghost not come along, because Ghost is what ended up filling that void for me,
Yep.
like perfectly, like the perfect shape into that hole.
Mhm.
Take that as you will. And I so yeah, had that not existed, had that not been a thing, I would have been just fucking chomping at the bit for this shit, dog.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's because you're absolutely right. Like I think there was like one of the handheld ones that were in China, like handheld
Yes.
Assassin's Creed.
And
I
I
think that's the
hopped on that
closest.
as soon as I found out it was a thing,
Yeah,
and then I wasn't good at it and I stopped.
because I'm pretty sure it's like a side scroller if I'm remembering
It's
correctly.
like a Metroidvania style
I see.
more than
I see. I
anything.
see.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
no.
That's when I was still bad at those. So I can
Yes.
beat them now.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Um, but let's get into our main review. Let's get into the main event. Spoilers. We'll say spoilers. Just to put it out
Sure.
there.
We
But
might talk
Elden
about a remembrance or something.
Remembrance, or I
Yeah.
mean, or bosses or whatnot.
Right, right.
Elden Ring Nightreign. It's been out for a little while now. We have completed it. Me and Justin have platted it. It's really funny. The trophy that Ernest is missing, he unfortunately missed out on it because his internet disconnected him.
And I got kicked from the game, and it was that run
Yep.
that they completed the city,
Yep.
the Shrouded City, and
Yep.
yeah, fuck me. So it's
Oh,
so frustrating, and because I've been trying to get the trophy, so I'll
yep.
hop on randomly, and to just randomly get the city, get there, and complete it.
It's the whole thing.
It's a lot to ask for.
It
That
is.
RNG, man. That
It is.
RNG.
RNG's rough. RNG can definitely be
Mhm.
rough. I mean, Justin felt that in terms of like you and me got our the fucking jellyfish raid pretty quick. I
Oh
want to say that was your
yes,
first run when we were trying it that night, and I got it my
right.
first run when I was playing solo. Well, with randoms, I didn't complete a run solo. And then with Justin, I played with him a whole day, and we didn't get it once. And then we played a little bit the next day, and it still wasn't immediate, but it was like 4 runs in, and I remember the reaction of like balls, balls.
Balls. Fucking
But
pooping.
Eldo was spitting out all those jellyfish. But Elden Ring Nightreign, not developed by Lord Miyazaki.
Mm.
It does take a lot of assets, as you know, from Elden Ring and a few from other Dark Souls games. And there is a lot of interesting stuff to get into with this. But Ernest, I'm going to throw it to you first. What's your score? And give me some top thoughts.
I'm gonna give this what I'm going to consider a generous 8 out of 10
Okay.
because um because I think there's things that I could take off more for,
Yeah.
but
Is it because you're mad
it's
about the
so
plot? I'm
fun.
just
Yes, mostly, yeah. Because I'm mad about the plat score is a 6 out of 10.
There you go.
If I eliminate that, 8 out of 10.
There you go.
Yeah, no. Um, there's just there's things about it. Let me talk a little bit positive about it first. We're
Okay.
gonna go sandwich method here. So I have such a good time with this game. This game is very fun. The gameplay is just so streamlined from what you usually have in a Souls game,
Right.
and it's done well. You know, it is not just too much of a mess of things. There is a lot to figure out, and
Mhm.
the first couple of runs are definitely going to be a mess. But
It seemed
figuring
I
it
didn't think we were
out,
going to
I
beat
think
it for a little
was
bit. Yeah.
yeah, man. I was like, oh, maybe we're just bad at this. Maybe
Yeah.
like this is just not for us or something. But then we started getting the hang of it, learning what different things did and your different capabilities with different characters. It definitely makes a difference in those runs. And at the end of that, it felt like that development of our skills, of our understanding was part of the fun itself, you
Yeah.
know. But that on top
The
of just
friends we
the
made along the
gameplay,
way.
because
Go on,
yeah, man.
yeah.
But as you're standing in front of someone, and you know, like you open up a jail or a goal or however you want to say that word,
Mhm.
and when you know you're standing there in front of them and you're having a fight, you know that is Souls at its
100%.
finest,
Yeah.
like, and a combination of many things, because the variation of the characters, the different builds that they give for you is definitely going to impact greatly your fights and the way
Mhm.
that you're fighting, your style and stuff like that. So I do appreciate the variety that it adds there, because I had such a good time the last time that we were on. It was the very first time that I played the sorceress, and I needed to play every character to get that trophy. And she just whoops ass, man. And it was so frustrating at first, like not knowing how her whole like magic
A lot of
FP
management. Yeah.
absorption thing worked.
Yeah.
And then, but once you get the hang of it, it's so dope. And
Yeah.
that is so different than being the big brawny motherfucker just standing in front of somebody like smashing them, you know?
Some of them
Which
rocks.
I know in like Souls as a whole, it's great to the part of the great part is being able to have those different builds.
Yeah.
But here you just don't have to like grind it up to finally be good. They're
Right.
just there for you, and by the time you get to night 2, you know, you just have this awesome build, hopefully. And it feels so good when you can get in there and just beat that boss's ass.
Yeah.
So, and then so the multiplayer, right? I feel like it's good for us because we hop in a party
Right.
and we play together and it works fairly seamlessly, you
Mhm.
know. But I'm fairly confident in saying that FromSoft is bad at multiplayer.
A
Like
little bit.
I don't think they're the best. Like even in regular Souls games, like putting down signs and stuff like that, there's way easier ways to do that shit,
Oh
man. Like, and
no.
you can area lock some places and stuff, man. It like where you cannot invite people, and I think, you know, there's a way to make signs a little bit easier. But I've played Armored Core games, and
If
it's
you
so
want to call those
rough. It's
games,
so
yeah.
rough, man. Yeah. What? But you're over here, you motherfucker. I I Yeah, I hopped in and got with a couple of like there should be voice chat in here. How is there not
There
voice
should
chat?
be
Game voice
specifically
chat
for
in here.
this. Yeah, yeah.
It's ridiculous. There's so much
It wasn't an
coordination that
asset to
goes into
reuse.
a good
Yeah.
run. Right, right. And that's my other thing, man, is that there could have been more original content for this, I feel. Everything is recycled, and because of that it does feel a little bit lazy. It's
Mm,
really cool to see things from before, like see those Elden Ring things, so see those like Dark Souls 2 bosses
there you
pop
go.
up and stuff like that. But even there, I wish there was more variety. Like, let's get a Sekiro boss in here. Let's get a
No.
Bloodborne thing or something.
Yes.
I know that's a whole licensing thing, but like, come on, man, talk to somebody over there. There's got to be a way to pull this stuff off. Like, there was more potential for what we have. And
Mm,
after being through it so many times, you do feel to you start to feel that recycledness of it,
mm,
that you have seen this before. And now at this point, I've seen it 10 times in a row in the same run. Like, oh, it's the uh what is it called? The tree sentinel
yep.
and his two buddies. Like,
Right.
how many times have we seen that boss now,
And then there's the other. I forgot what he's
So
called. It's the something other Sentinel, and he also has two buddies. Draconic
right.
Sentinel. It's the
Yeah, the
Draconic Sentinel,
draconic. Yeah.
and it's just like,
And
why is that guy here? Like, it's like, hey,
it's there's just so
worm
there's so much
face.
potential. Like, if you were gonna reuse assets, like reuse more of those assets, homie.
Correct.
Like, fucking throw them out there,
Bro, put
it
Radon in
does
here,
feel rather
motherfucker. Like,
limited right
goddamn.
here. And like, they could have done it to the point where I feel like they would have stuff to release later, because obviously they're doing new things. They just added the new gaping jaw
Yeah.
boss fight in there, the remixed version. It's Elder Knight person,
I think it's
or
Evernight. Yeah.
yeah, Evernight. Good job, man. And mwah. And I and like that I appreciate, but like I feel like even with using more of those assets, they still would have had things to add to the game. You could
Yeah.
have added 50% more and just released more slowly or something like that.
Yeah.
There's still time, though. There's still time. Obviously, they can add more bosses. They can add more like side bosses in the open world, which I would love to see as well. um Maybe new events and things like that. What do they call it? Shifting Earth and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot of room for growth here.
There is.
I wish there was more at launch, though. But again, you get there and it's just a good time, especially
It
when you
is.
figure it out, especially when you get to play with your friends. Like, I can really only go off of my experience, and I got to
Right.
play this entire game with my two friends.
Yeah.
We had a party of three, so of course my experience is
We were set.
probably I'm probably going to be a little bit higher on it than somebody that's like, joining randoms out there every time that they play.
Hmm.
So yeah, for me, 8 out of 10. Yeah.
So I am just one step behind you, because I'm giving this a 7.5 out of 10. As somebody here who did use a lot of the online, because I got the majority of my clears with other characters with randoms. Because
That's right.
I played plenty. I just was like, I'm gonna do this while they're not online.
I feel like playing. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair.
100%.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, in terms of like things to focus on, just completing a run is it's fine. Sure, there was plenty of anger. But sometimes, like when you see the people that have the in-game skins, it's like, oh my God, are you going to be my Sherpa? And one of them wasn't. Fuck that guy. But the others are wonderful. Um, but I'm pretty much there with you. I started realizing how repetitive that one map was going to get at the end of literally our first day.
Mm,
Um, but I got excited from every new shiny thing, like when the new boss would pop up, when
right.
um I got a weapon that let me do something that I didn't get to do the run before, or stuff like that. We started branching out and doing more. We avoided the jails for a little bit.
Because
Because
we
we
got our
tried one.
ass
No, so
whooped the
yeah,
first
yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Once we figured out, I guess you could call it the pacing of a run, and then we were
Mhm.
set. And Justin did a great job. Huge shout out to Justin for guiding us through a
He's
lot
our
of things here.
leader.
He
Yeah, he
is.
pings everything, and we just go and
We just
fight.
go.
That's
We
all we
just
got to
go.
do,
And
baby.
as somebody who had to do the pinging when I hopped online, it's like a box of cats, man. Just stay in the box. I'm carrying you. I'm taking you to shelter.
Yeah, like, no, I need to go to this magic tower. Like, that's not what we're doing right
No
now.
one here's doing magic. No, but it's just it is a whole thing. But they're reused assets. So I do think, I mean, they promoted it perfectly. I mean, you already know about the reused assets. On
Mhm.
top of that, this game is 39.99. It's a $40 game. In terms of like wanting more content, I think this is just fine for what the price was.
I forgot that part. Yeah. That's a
That's
good that's
probably
a
buying
very good
digital,
point.
Ernest. You don't see it.
Yeah, man.
But I mean, at the same time, with reused assets, because this was my thinking, just shifting your thoughts around a little bit. Because you have your world bosses that you can come kind of stumble across, or you go to like the fire encampment. It'll be a fire boss there, the lightning encampment, fire boss there, a lightning boss there. Um, None of those I feel should be in the pool for your end of day night one or night two bosses.
It should be like a new tier of
New tier,
boss
right?
right there,
100%.
not just a recycled thing.
And
Yeah.
like that could be either another, because again, if you're even if you're just say we don't do Sekiro, say we don't do Bloodborne, we just do Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, there's still a ton for them to
Yeah.
touch. Because I think there's only six. There might be seven. Okay, so it's between six and eight, but it's no more than that. I'm trying to, I can't remember them all at the moment, but and I'm happy with all the ones we do have here, especially, and you can see it on all of our feeds, dude. I lost my shit when Nameless King popped up, and he's the one they
Oh,
promote the
yeah.
game with, and
He
like
had to
literally,
change his pants for sure,
dude, I
dude.
was so
Yeah.
excited, and literally, because I didn't let the weight of that run hold me down, because it was a bad run. Some things went awry. I want to say the moth got the best of us or something. We were all like, we're not going to win this run.
Yeah,
Everything was
you can
down.
hear me in that video and you're
Yeah.
like, "Yes, the nameless king." And I'm like, "Yay."
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
I heard it.
like
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm just there like, oh my God, he's a second health bar. Yeah. Yeah.
And because really that was our only like two-phase
Yeah.
guy
He's it.
aside from the last boss.
And it's so
So,
funny that like before that, you even have to fight a dragon. Like
yeah.
it's not the hardest dragon in the world at all, but it's just like, oh, you have to kill this dragon before they let this guy in the fucking stadium.
And just
Um,
dragons being dragons are intimidating and in that
100%.
like small space.
Is he big?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, Nameless King is so big
Yeah.
for the stadium. But that being said, like you could have even recycled more of the Elden Ring bosses. Because I was really excited to see Godric here, Godric the
Mhm.
Grafted,
Right.
Bear Witness. I really like Radon could have been really cool. I only got them once, and that's why I grabbed a screenshot of it. It's on our Instagram feed of when I got his dual gravity great swords.
Yeah.
So cool, so awesome, and I was like, he has to be in the game. He's not.
I was
Um,
really happy about getting Melania's sword
Right, very cool as
yesterday.
well.
Yesterday on
Yeah,
on
yeah,
a
yeah.
run.
Very awesome. I'm happy she's not in this game. So if there's one that I'm
Oh
glad's
my
not in
god.
there, it's Melania.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we don't need her and we don't need the
Consort
final boss
Radon.
of Sekiro.
So Sekiro would be tough just because of the mechanics,
Yeah, yeah, it is different
but it would be
mechanics for
cool.
sure.
Like I mean,
Because you're
honestly,
not
to throw
mixing.
that out, put in the Demon of Hatred that we all cheesed.
Fuck that.
But he's
Oh
the
no,
one that would
well
be
it
the
would be
most
the
Dark
three of
Souls.
us. It would
Yeah.
be the three of
It would be
us.
the three of
So
us. He's the most of
yeah,
like a Dark Souls boss.
right.
And we would laugh at it the first time, but we'd roll our eyes if they just included the bowl. Because it's like,
And they should put things to climb up and hop on top of
see
for
that now it's a whole new game.
that
Now it's
boss.
a whole new game.
Yeah.
But that alone, whether you're pulling more from Dark Souls, which I do wish, I do wish they had more Dark Souls bosses, but that's not a real complaint. It is really you could have pulled more Elden Ring bosses over if you're going to reuse assets,
Yeah.
rather than like Worm Face is fine when you go to that one area of his on the map. He
But to
should
end the night.
not. Yeah, not at all. And granted, my least favorite boss is not one you can encounter in the world, but fuck. The I forgot it's something tibia. It's a dude in a canoe.
Oh yeah,
He's
yeah. From
just
Elden
he's
Ring.
so long, man.
Yeah.
And he just
And
keeps
because he
summoning
has
people.
half of that fight is all the ads.
Clearing the ads. Yeah.
And then he's in a boat that's
And he has such high
teleporting
defense. Yeah.
and it's teleporting constantly. So you're
Yep.
just running from one side of
Yep.
the arena to the other side. And especially once those ads are cleared, it gets a little
Dude,
frustrating.
you
Like,
see
oh,
the
he's over there now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love being the archer just so much.
There you
So
go.
much.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say
Shout
I
out to
enjoyed.
Iron Eye.
And that being said, Iron Eye was definitely your main. I ended up
Mhm.
maining Wilder, and then Justin ended up maining. I want to say it was the Duchess. Ended up because he started off with the Magic Girl, but then he switched off that for the majority of the game.
Right, right.
But
And
yeah,
I just feel like that I've seen a lot of hate online for the Iron Eye, like, oh, you sit back, shoot bow, like, wow,
Well,
you know. But when you're running with a squad, like he's just so useful to like bring
yeah,
somebody
I
up,
was gonna say
like a
anything I've seen
revived.
on him is he's needed for every run.
Yeah,
It's just he's because he. I know you don't like it. I know you don't like to be called it unless we're playing Overwatch. He's your healer.
yeah,
He gets you
yeah.
up.
No, that makes sense.
He gets you
Yeah,
up. Yeah. And like it can be intimidating. It's intimidating no matter what character you are when you see somebody has two bars that you have to clear through.
right. Yeah,
But I will say
and
I think that
three,
system's fine.
forget about it.
Oh,
Oh,
dude,
like
yeah.
the way that you revive by
Yeah.
hitting them.
There are
Yeah,
definitely some
it
buggy
doesn't make
parts.
sense, but it's cool.
There are definitely
Yeah.
some buggy parts where it's like, why won't it let me lock onto her to get her up and stuff
Yes.
like that? But I think that's stuff that honestly could have been patched up by now. Because I think we were doing fine last time we were on. But it's really the use of the reused assets that I'm just like, some of these bosses are being used too much and they're not special. And it's taking up the spot that I wish was like filled with something more special. Like again, Radon would have been a really cool fight to hop in on. I think the raids are really cool in the way those work. It's neat that the Fell Omen, Morgott,
Mhm.
is not even a boss. You do get him at the end of one of the nights and he's that, but yeah.
But
But
that he can just drop in at any
I
point,
love
at
it.
any point.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love it so much.
I tried my first solo run
Yep.
yesterday,
Yep, yep, yep.
and I was fighting a Black Knife assassin at the bottom of the castle,
Very mobile
and I
man.
was doing fairly good. No, I lying. I'm lying. I was getting my ass whooped bad, so bad. Um, it was terrible.
Yeah.
I was like, I kept going back down to level 9 and like marching back in there, getting my souls before I died again, but like
Yeah.
whittling away that health bar. I was got him down to his name, and fucking Margot just
There
fucking
he
drops on
was.
me,
The
man,
fell
and
omen.
like joins the fray.
Right.
And they're not fighting each other at all.
Nope.
They're both looking at this guy, and I'm on a solo run. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna keep doing this today. I just turned the game off.
Close
I
eyes.
just turned off the whole PlayStation and just walked away.
I get it. I get
So
it.
yeah, I
Yeah.
switched over to Outer Worlds, dog. Like
There you
fuck
go.
that.
Much more chill time
So
there.
yeah, way more chill.
But I do want to give credit where credit is due. I do think they're called the Night Lords. They're the eight bosses that are at the end, like your main goal for each of these eight primary runs. And I do think each one of them is awesome. Of course, one of them is an ice dragon, and we've had ice dragons before, but it's still very cool. And I wasn't let down by any of them. Like the jellyfish is so easy once you know how it all works and everything, but at the same time, it has the most unique stadium. Like it
Mm.
changes the whole area to look like you're underwater. Introducing the hands and the jellyfish just floating around, you kind of feel you forget what boss stadium you're in, and you feel like you're underwater. And I think that's really neat. My favorite, and I'm gonna ask you your favorite here in a second. But can you guess my favorite? It's
Your
okay if you don't know the
favorite
name. I don't
of
know
the
my name either.
bosses. Um,
The Night Lord specifically.
I'm going to say, oh, that gaping slaw, baby.
Nah, bro,
Nah, I
not at
just wanted
all.
to say that. I just wanted to say that. No,
Okay.
I think it's the centaur. Centaur did
100%.
it. Yeah.
100%.
Oh, I
For
know
so
my
many
friends. What's
reasons.
good, dog?
Because he's honestly the strength build of all of these guys.
Right. Yeah, that makes
But dude, there's a part where he just gets the zoomies and it's like
sense.
insanity.
He does. He
And
does
he's
get the
all over
zoomies.
the place. And I'm like,
Hell
is he
yeah.
gonna stop? And like it doesn't, oh, it just goes forever. And the other thing is, I do think he has the best boss OST. My favorite, I guess I'll say, because I do think there's a
Oh
lot of good
yeah,
ones here. Like, of
it's
course, the
good.
final
That
boss,
final
dude.
boss is
Yeah.
fucking epic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very
Yeah.
operatic there, but there's just a lot of like it sounds like dwarfs chanting for this guy, and I'm like, I want to chant for this guy too as I kill him.
I love
Um,
when dwarves chant, bro.
dude, it's so cool.
Hell yeah.
It's so cool. They
Yeah.
got
It's
them
always
deep
epic.
voices, bro. But which one of the Night Lords is your favorite?
I'm it's tough, man. Yeah. I
I
do I
hate
get
them
to pick the
all.
final boss here?
You can, yeah.
No, you know what? I'm sorry. It's the devil. or who we call the devil. I
Oh,
can't
right.
remember
I
his
forgot
name.
about him. No, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The madness goat. Yeah.
Yeah, the one that you make the deal
Yep.
with, and
That's very
then
unique. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
dude, it's so cool. But not only that, but his like move set too,
Yep.
his character design is super
Yep.
badass. Like it's just so different than anything else that you get in the game.
It's true.
And
And the
I
fact
think
that you
it's
had
the
encountered him
uniqueness that
before
really puts it
then.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you see him out in the open world, and if you hit him, you end up fighting that boss.
Right.
Like, I mean, and it's a tough one.
So I
It's a
guess that
real.
would
So
have
we were.
triggered the raid before you even got the boss fight then.
Oh, if that
Because if
counts
you
as a
find him
raid,
out there, assuming, because
yeah,
obviously we didn't do it, but I don't know.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense actually. But yeah, I just think he's so different than anything, and it might be that uniqueness that pushes him over for
Yeah.
me. But just
And he's
he's
how we
so
all got
cool.
15, the level 15 trophy.
It is how we all got the level 15
We
show.
ended
Like,
up
yeah,
having
I'll
one
take that
run where
deal.
we got a natty 15, but that would have been on our minds before that had we not gotten it at that boss fight.
And I was like, why am I losing levels? Come to
Right.
find out, those choices also have
Have a
negative
negative effect.
effects that they
Yep,
don't
yep,
tell
yep.
you about. And yeah, thank you, Google, because we would have been fucked for a minute.
100%. We might have kept trying the deals. Even without doing the deals though, dude was a beast. He's
Yeah,
he's absolutely incredible. He's so good. He's so good. And like madness is such like there's madness camps and whatnot because literally the patch that came out today literally is making madness weapons more of a thing.
because they were so absent, right? To the
Incredible.
point
Like
that
we
I
never
thought
found any.
wasn't.
Right.
I thought it wasn't a thing at all,
Right, right, right.
honestly. So yeah, yeah,
Now
yeah. I'm
now
glad.
that might help your fight with him because he's also apparently weak to madness. But that's to say they're supporting it. They have the revamp of the gaping not slaw jaw.
I put
The
gaping slaw because Chris hates coleslaw.
I
I
do
love
hate
it.
coleslaw. Coleslaw's
I love
gross.
it. Yeah.
Sorry for being American. I'm just kidding. That
And at
has to be an
first, I
American
thought
thing.
of way nastier shit first. Just a lot of gaping things.
Yeah.
I had like gaping, like hole and
Yeah.
gaping.
We have
Like,
the gaping
yeah, let's
dragon
just
in
go from there.
this. I was so happy to
No,
see him
true.
as one of the that's one of
Yeah,
the added things. He was my probably my second favorite to the Nameless
nameless king.
King because Nameless King's just dude, one of my favorite bosses out there. Because dude, one of the first times I took him on because me and Justin really got like into our friendship during Dark Souls 3. Started with the Bloodborne DLC, then we got Dark Souls 3. We were both working at
That'll do it.
GameStop, worked the midnight release to pick up our editions of it. Hopped right on after work, and it was just a whole thing. Um, and Nameless King was a bitch. He was a bastard, dude. And it's just one of those moments that you look back on. I'm like, man, that was a good fight. That was a good fight. Screw that guy. Like that's how I think of Mulaney right now. Like screw that bitch.
Oh no,
Like I
yeah.
do.
I never want to do it again. I
Right,
never want to do it again.
right.
Yeah. The reason they built a statue of Homeboy is because he's crazy. Like for Let Me Solo Her.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, yeah. He's a madman for wanting to go in there over and over again. And to
absolutely.
fight her by himself. Like it's nuts. But
uh, but going a
yeah, man.
little further into what you were saying there, about like this map, the reused assets. The other thing about that, and I noticed it again day one, and that's where I was like, this game, I don't know if it can reach the level of great for me. I had a great experience because I'm playing with my friends, of course. But in terms of what the game actually has to offer, I can't ignore that. And what I'm referring to, of course, is Elden Ring. A big part of why that game is special is how much of its focus is about exploration, and for you just wandering out in the world, taking your time and getting into everything. Now, this is speed running Elden Ring.
Hmm.
100%. You have to hurry. You gotta get going. You're not going to be able to read every single thing. You're gonna get caught in the storm. Storm's a bitch. Like it's a whole thing, and it is really fun for what this game is. But like, other than Ernest needing to get the plat, and we're gonna help him out with that. All this has made me do is made me want to replay Elden Ring again, which I played twice last year. Well, one and a half times, but
There's a lot of times though to
it is
replay it. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then that's also including we went through the DLC last year, obviously, but it's just it is really cool. But I will say this has me very excited because I do think this is a good game. Obviously, 7.5.
It's a fun
Um,
game.
it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
It's a really fun
Yeah.
one. Very solid time. And if you have the full squad, definitely recommend. Obviously, it seems like if you don't have a full squad, there's some bugs there for you. But I'm really excited now for what is it called? Darkstalkers? No, Dawn Walk, whatever.
Dawn Walkers.
I want to say that's it. I'll look it up here. But
I
the one
because I
that's
want to say it's very similar to Blade with like day walkers or something.
I think you're right. Dawn Walker game. That is not it. Dawn Walker is the vampire game being made by the Witcher devs. I'll get the name here in a moment, but what I'm referring to is the online only game actually being directed by Miyazaki, our Elden Ring Lord. And the only issue I have with that game is that right now it's listed as exclusive for Switch 2, and I think that's tough. I think anything
Right.
online is going to be tough. Whether it could be PlayStation exclusive, I think the same thing.
Yeah.
But it looks very different. This lets me know that like they can do it. I think this is a success. I think this has a lot to offer for your Elden Ring fan. Not a guaranteed love because yeah, there's gonna be some things that are a bit literally hollowed out. But when you get to well, that other offering that's actually being developed by Miyazaki, and what they showed just with that other aesthetic. Because everyone, dude, I was one of them. I was like, "Are we getting a Bloodborne? Like, are we getting a new Bloodborne?" And it's like, no, but we have Bloodborne at home. No, but it's dude, I'm very much like I was already looking forward to it, but this has me really excited because I do think
Yeah.
this is just reused assets we've been playing, and I think it's good. I do think it is pretty good. But what about you? Do you think any
So
differently now that they've had this about that other title?
no, yeah, definitely. I mean, it proves now that you bring up the point. I don't think I had like related the two too much before this, but now that you bring it up, yeah, I feel that it is. No, it's promising. It shows that FromSoft like they have an idea of how to do multiplayer. I just hope that there are some improvements when
It's
we get there.
Duskbloods,
Like being able to like speak to each other
right?
is huge, you know, especially if I don't know if this game has to be played like in a party or
Mm.
anything like that. I'm not sure of the exact layout, but
Oh,
if
the
it
new
is
one.
that type of situation, yeah,
I got you.
if it is that type of situation, I hope there's a couple improvements as far as like the way that you're able to communicate.
Mm.
The pinging system is decent. You know, I wish you were able to ping something that you were looking at in front of you. It's weird that
Right.
you can only ping like directly underneath you.
Unless you pull up the map,
um,
which is not ideal
yeah,
for the way this game is functioning yet.
and even if it's like a combination of buttons, like the way it is to ping right now, like
Uh-huh.
that would be great. Just being able to point something out in front of you so that everybody can turn and look at it would be huge. Um, but voice chat more than anything, like if you have to be on squads, because yeah, so I would say there is promising things here, but as I've talked through it, there's also some improvements that I hope would be made as far as multiplayer goes.
So, first of all, like I said, it is titled Duskbloods. So there's a title,
Dusk Bloods.
and it's going to be a
Okay.
PvPvE title. So I don't even know if we're going to be squatting up. I think it's going to be every man for themselves.
PvP. Oh, okay. So like a
From what I'm looking at
battle
here,
royal type situation, maybe.
right? Something like that. Um,
Battle royal.
I'm not
Because
reading
this
all the
has
stuff.
battle royal.
Elements. You have a
You know,
storm.
yeah, elements. That's the
Yeah,
word. Yes,
it's a
yes,
it's a
yes.
battle royale roguelike. Yeah, it's 100%.
And
Yeah.
yeah, dropping in and the
Yep.
circle closing,
That's
all
a
those
great bird,
things.
but I might as well just be in the bus on Fortnite.
It just goes in the straight. Yeah, there's not much gliding there that you could do
Not at
with it. You
all.
could direct it a
You
little
play
bit,
as a
but
bird here who doesn't have any gliding abilities. It's interesting.
doesn't at all,
Not at
at all.
all.
And I understand his wings are kind of wonky or whatever, but they're, I mean,
Come on now.
and to give it to one character would be incentive to play that character too.
Right.
I
Because
I
he
really
wasn't
thought
my favorite. him
right,
him
right.
and the witch were my least favorites.
Are you bad
But
with shields?
no, you can't. I don't think you can. I don't use them a lot. Um, but you can't do a lot of. How dare you? How dare you, sir? As I see you, because I literally was using my buckler for the fucking final boss, but you can't go
Oh,
full
true.
strength, like a full strength playthrough without being able to use a shield at some point.
Right.
I would prefer not to, because I'd rather just two-hand my weapons and do big BOGO damage, baby. Bananza. Um, but that
Yeah,
is to
get ready
say,
for this Bananergy, baby, coming
Bananergy,
your way.
bro, Bananergy. What's that metal that Wolverine's steel is made out of? Banandium. Like it's great.
You're just coming at me with really bad Bananergy right now,
I'm
and I
sorry.
need you to chill out,
I'm
bro.
sorry.
Okay.
I was gonna try to say banana and like a banana bandana, but form that into one word, and I was like, my brain broke trying to think of that.
Bananda, I
No, that's just a
believe.
name. No, that's just a
No, I'm right.
that's
No, yeah,
Miranda
I'm
as a
right.
banana. Yeah, that's not.
Bananda.
Hey, banana. Now we're
Yeah.
just turning people into fruits.
Yeah.
Um, but that is to say, this game again is very solid. I don't think like I remember when they first showed it last year. The first thing they showed like the raindrops in the world of Elden Ring, and me and Justin were both like, "What is this shit? This is ugly."
Look at this shitty
Yeah.
rain. Look at this shitty rain. This game's gonna suck. And
Little
then it
did
was
we
from
know.
Soft, and they were like,
Never mind.
never
I'm
mind.
so
I take it
sorry.
back.
And
Yeah,
then later
yeah.
learning that Miyazaki's not
Sheeple.
attached
You're
to it, but it's
sheeple.
fine. Hey man, I never disagreed with that. He did. Um, but it's a good game. It is a good game. It's just like just short of great with a few odd choices of honestly just boss variety. Um, because I understand that there's not a new map, like another map. Like it's Elden Ring. Like that's fine.
Right. Yeah, yeah. You're
But
put
if you're
in
not going to
legendary
change
format.
that, like the landmarks help. When we started getting the landmarks, that was a big help. But like you can switch some other things. You can change a little few other things out. And there are some different layouts you can get, but really the boss variety and really deepening that pool because you have the pool to pull from. Like I know they have that pool. That's like what their bread and butter is. You have them already. If you
Yeah.
put fucking, I understand maybe porting more other Dark Souls 3 bosses over here would be tough. Completely fine. But it shouldn't be that hard to pull an Elden Ring asset to this Elden Ring game. Like it's
Yeah.
like where is my
It's
God?
Elden Ring.
Right.
It's Elden Ring.
Like
Yeah.
Godfrey with his freaking lion could have been in here. That would have been cool. And like there's just a number of others that
Yeah. Get
and to
ready
be
for the stomps. Fucking
right.
jump.
Yeah, dude.
Jump. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, dude, the slow one. I love it. I love it so much. And like I said, this game, and Justin was like, "I'm surprised you're going to sell it." And I'm like, "Yeah, I've kind of gotten my use out of it." He's like, "What about DLC?" They're going to probably add things to it that are in the other games I'd rather play through.
It kind of seems like they're going, there is potential, I think, for them to add things where I'm gonna be like, oh, I want to go play that.
Yeah,
Like if they do end up adding some of those other bosses and stuff
yeah,
like that. Cause I mean, we have seen their first piece of like free content, which
yeah.
is like those remade bosses, which I mean, it's not that different from what we have right now, but there's the potential for them to, add an event where so and so is going to be out on the field at some point or something like
But
this.
here's
Like,
the other thing, Ernest, and I this might be a sour note, and maybe it's a hot take. I don't think it is. They don't actually have to add anything else. The game's fine. It's a
yeah,
$39.99
yeah, yeah,
game. They can just revamp all the bosses. They do not have to program anything new into it. And it would be just fair. Because literally it's not a game for a service. It's not a free to play. Just because it has the online component doesn't mean it has to be treated the same way. This is
right, right.
definitely not something that is designed with the purpose of being a forever game.
Mhm.
So it has its completion cycle. And it obviously RNG is gonna your experience with that cycle is gonna vary. City was great by the way. Anyway, it just depends. But anything they add, I mean that's great. They absolutely can. Of course, patches and updates. Yes, you got to keep doing that. You got to
Right.
stabilize that stuff. Um, but they don't have to add new bosses. They absolutely don't. I do hope they do. I don't think there's really any like there's nothing here that's like, oh, I'm gonna hold on because I bought the game physically and I knew
Mhm.
full well schedule wise. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna sell this towards my Dark Souls, not Dark Souls 2. The DS2 throws me off. My Death Stranding 2 copy when I go pick that
Which
up.
I pre-ordered today, by the way.
There you go, big man.
Yeah.
Um, And it's just like, hey, that's the cycle. I'm not a millionaire. Sometimes I have to go through the physical media to just afford my stuff, dude. That's what I'd be
That
doing.
makes sense. It's way more efficient too.
And
Yeah.
it's not going to be here forever because it is all
Yeah.
going digital. So I'm
If
just
we
going to
ever
take
go
advantage of it while I can.
post-apocalyptic and we get to have energy somehow, man, you get to play that game,
There
baby.
you go. There you go.
Yeah.
But that is like, regardless of me like saying like I've completed my time with it, I have 60 hours in it.
Mm.
I think a little over. That's me playing online with randoms. That's me playing with my friends here, whether it be with Ernest and Justin, or just Justin, or again with the randoms online. There is a plenty to enjoy about the game. But granted, your experience with randoms are definitely going to vary. But if they have the skins, like the Dark Souls skins, they should be reliable. It should be something you should be looking forward to. Only one of them screwed me over. He guided us so far to the second night, and before the boss of the second night, he logged out. And maybe because these are long runs, maybe he had something come
Dinner was
up,
ready. Yeah.
right? Something
You
like
know.
that. But
Yeah.
if you're a pro, you should already have that shit planned out. So I don't know about you,
Yeah. I
because we
got
were
a
following
babysitter
him.
just to play. No, I'm just
Like he was the Sherpa, he was pinging everything. When I saw his pings made sense, I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave it alone. We're gonna follow this guy, and he got us great gear. He got us great everything. And then right before the second boss fight, I was like, here we go. His name disappeared, and I was like, oh no.
like that meme of that boy just like
Yep,
disappearing.
just whoop,
Like
on the screen. I was so mad because it was I was like, oh, I'm gonna get the clear on this character, and no, I did not. Um, but yeah, it is a good solid game. But Ernest, do you have any final thoughts on Elden Ring Nightreign?
Yes, I would like to change my score to a 7.5 as well after this conversation.
That is an
I know
8.5.
you weren't trying to sway me or anything, but you did. You did. There are more things that can be added here. And to say we always say age is great.
Yep.
I was thinking about that and I don't know if this is a great game. I think it's a good game. Um
I'd say
I don't
7.5 is like
think it's a
very
great
good.
game though.
So
Yeah, yeah, I think it's very good because it is very fun. There's
it is.
lots of fun to be had here. There's really, really awesome stuff, man. It's just that, like you said, it's depending on the content that's added over time. I really like I like the idea behind like harder bosses and
Yeah.
stuff like that, or harder
That's what
versions
Monster
of these
Hunter's
bosses,
doing.
stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I don't know if that's going to make me want to come back and play.
That's fair.
Like yeah, once I get the plat, especially. Right now I'm going back to it specifically for
Yeah,
that, and
it's one trophy. Yeah.
it's only getting more frustrating,
I
you know.
understand.
So
I understand. Because
so
I brought this up with Justin. I was like, RNG is not like not Ernest's friend for plats.
it's really not. It's really not.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I have so many plats out there that I'm like one trophy away. And it got to the point that once I complete a game, like I'm looking and seeing like, is there any RNG trophies
Right.
before I decide if I want to do this or not? Like I'm never getting that Black Myth Wukong
That's fair.
uh
That's fair.
plat because there's like a plant that you have to hope to get from
Yeah.
picking it, and those plants only respawn every couple of hours in the game, like real time hours. Fuck that. No, I'm not doing that. So this too, man. I started thinking to myself last night, like, how bad do I need this plat? You know,
Yeah.
I want it though, very
That's
bad.
fair. That's fair.
It's an Elden
Can't help
Ring
that your
game.
friends have it, but yeah.
Souls plats are, I feel like, worth more than some other plats.
That's
You
fair.
know, like that
Not
shit's
Sekido, but
tough,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Sekido is the one that counts for the most, if you ask me. So that
Oh, I
shit
don't know
is
about
tough.
that because I have. Oh no, it is tough. I'm talking about the Dark Souls putts we don't have. Is the reason why I say that there might be some above that.
Right, right. I'm saying like boss
I
wise
understand.
and
Oh yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Like
They're
yeah,
just so
yeah.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah, too easy
Just
almost.
playing.
So
I'm just trying to
and
get
that's
it
why it's
roasted.
worth more. No, yeah, the bad it's tough, man. It's tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want this really bad. But I there's things that could have been better. The
Sure.
game could have been more. You know, there's definitely, like I said, the potential to add a lot of things,
Mhm.
and that potential has been there since before this game came out.
Sure.
It could have just came with it, you know. So yeah, but great time, great time. I'm happy that we got this. I don't think we're gonna have a repeat of last year
Oh
where
no.
it's like, how is a DLC in the
This felt
in
more. This
the
feels
game of
more
the
like a
year thing?
DLC than our
Yeah,
experience
and
last year with the
and the
DLC.
thing is, like, this is an actual
Yeah,
other game that should qualify for something like that, should it be worthy. I just don't think it's very worthy right
I
now,
wouldn't be
but
surprised if it gets up for multiplayer of the year. I don't know what the competition pool is, if it
right,
depends on it.
yeah.
Um,
Nothing's even gonna come close to Split Fiction on that
oh well,
shit,
yeah,
but
no, yeah.
yeah,
I'm only
yeah.
talking noms. I'm only
But
talking
but
noms.
for it to be in the conversation, I could see that just because it's fun, man.
It
Because
is.
it's fun. Like, yeah, like a lot of the, especially as a Souls fan, like if you like Souls games and you've ever had any fun on like a battle royale or anything like that, and you have, if you're a Souls fan in the first place, you probably have some patience to like figure shit out.
Yeah.
If you take the time to figure this stuff out, and especially if you have a crew, it's fun. It's
Right.
fun for sure.
Definitely a different experience if you don't have a full crew. But they are working on balancing things out like that, and maybe even adding a two-player thing in the future. So I mean, we'll see how that all works. But again, I do echo a lot of what you just said there. It's just shy of great for me. I do think it's very good. Because literally, even if you're just taking a sip from the flask that is the greatness of Elden Ring, even that sip is pretty awesome. Not Lacroix, you know that you can pass on. If you want me to talk positive about that, support us. If you like that.
It's
But
good. Strawberry peach.
yeah, I'm sure you smell that somewhere. But that
I
doesn't
know.
taste like strawberry peach. I don't know about that. But that being said, it is a good game. Definitely recommend. We would love to hear all y'all's thoughts on it. If I'm able to get this up on YouTube and everything works out fine, let us know what you think in the comments because that's going to be a thing now. Yeah,
Shit, we're gonna have comments. Yeah.
comments. Yeah,
Yeah.
every curse word I've been like, what is that going to do to us? There's a way to mark it for explicit. I'm just like,
Thank
okay,
goodness.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. Again,
I was
just a
talking
whole.
about gaping holes earlier and shit. So
Well, that's not a curse word. Luckily,
it's
that's
actually not, but
insinuating.
it's way worse than like saying fuck,
Well, not
like
necessarily for like a just an algorithm siphoning through content.
the visually.
But
Yeah.
Ernest, first time doing this visually, bud. If people want to keep up with us, tune in to what we got going on. Where can they find us?
So if you'd like to stay up to date with the show, you can find us out here on all these social medias, baby. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube. And if you'd like to reach us directly, you can find us at life is storytelling at gmail.com. We appreciate any and all feedback and we fucking love you.
We freaking love you so much. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
For
You're good.
we
We're gonna
freaking
find out. We're
love
gonna
you,
find out.
motherfucker.
We're
Yeah.
learning here. But just also to shout it out because we're still posting on the audio only for audio only fans. You can find us on Apple and Spotify, and we appreciate any reviews there as well. But anything like, share, whatever you got. We are nerds, just wanting to nerd out. We are looking at bringing more movies and stuff, TV shows back into the mix to just making it a little nerd corner, man. But we'll figure out that stuff as we go, and especially when we start living together. Living together. I don't know what this is. I just wanted to make a
And
hand
they
motion.
were
And
roommates.
no, they will be roommates. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Something like
thank you
that.
all for tuning in, hanging out. And Ernest, thanks for joining me visually today.
It's always a pleasure, sir. Always a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you. And we will be back next week. We record on Thursdays. Episodes come out on Fridays. This will probably be video wise up. Um, Again, if I do everything right, it should
Soon.
be out tonight. So because I'm just going to go ahead and get started on this, but we will be back next week. The only thing on the docket right now is going to be our review of FBC Firebreak. We've hopped on for one night, and that is something. It was something, but I would, regardless of how that went, it is not a fair amount of time to call anything off on that game, especially for a studio we hold near and dear to our hearts. Because Remedy is one of the greats out there. So we'll be hopping back on that, talking about that next week. But thank you all for tuning in, hanging out, and have a great weekend.